Today I'm going to do a painting tutorial. Those of you that follow me on Facebook will have seen my acrylic pour paintings. Some people have been purchasing them and I hope to sell them at a craft fair soon. But it's really simple, and a lot of people have been asking me questions about it, asking me what I use, and honestly anyone could do it. So I'm going to go over how you can make paintings like this one. It's kind of funky, and this one has a lot of the bubbles. So they all turn out kind of differently depending on the method that you use. And so I'm going to go over two of the main methods that I use today. Okay, this is not going to be as iconic as Trixie Mattel makes a sandwich and, more importantly, a drink, but I think that it can be a lot of fun. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to be doing acrylic pour painting is wear a shirt that you don't really care about. I have not actually gotten paint on any of my clothing so far, but honestly, it's just a matter of time. So wear something that's fine to get a lot of paint on. Step two is that you want to have a drying area. So you can see back here, this is where I'll put some of my paintings to dry. I put a little paper towel down because it is going to drip. One of the things people talk about with these paintings is the drying time. And with the new pouring medium I've been using, it dries faster. But these aren't paintings that you can do them in the morning and then take them somewhere in the afternoon. They take forever to dry and they drip. So you've also got to make peace with the fact that a lot of the painting is going to, a lot of the paint you buy is literally going to be washed down the drain. And it's hard to see because paint costs money, but it's okay and it's worth it. So you want to make sure you have a lot of paper towels on hand. You want to make sure that you have, I empty out both sides of my sink so that I have a lot of room available for the paint to go down. And then when it comes to a pouring medium, this is what makes the paint, okay, viscous is a word that no one knows how to use because I think viscous means that it doesn't flow and you want it to flow. I don't know, ask a science teacher. But the pouring medium really helps. So I got some pouring medium at a craft store and it was super expensive and it was tiny. I ordered this Floetrol. It came in a 2-pack of 2 quarts or milliliters if you're British. And it was $16. So much cheaper than buying just one tiny bottle at the craft store. So I recommend it. And the cool thing about this pouring medium is that it makes it dry a lot faster than if you were just doing straight acrylic paint. I have made some with straight acrylic paint that takes a lot of paint because you got to cover the whole surface and it takes forever to dry. So I really recommend the pouring medium, and that's how you're going to get the cool bubbly results. So you also need some cups to pour it into because you've got to mix your paint with the pouring medium. So this pouring medium, you got to shake it before you use it. So my process is I kind of fill up all of the cups well, not fill them up, I don't have that type of money, but I'll fill them up about a little under halfway, and then I'll go through and pour the different paint colors in. Most people will use complementary colors. Think about colors that would look good together, colors that are in the same family. Sometimes I've done just different shades of blue. I always include a white. That's just me, that's my preference, and it's cool because sometimes it kind of interacts with the other colors and it can make it look like you've got more shades of a color. So, brief pause, I'm going to fill up the cups. Okay, we're back and our paint is mixed. Do you feel like you're watching HGTV yet? I feel like I just pulled the fully baked version out of the oven that was there the whole time. So, when you are selecting colors, you want to think about colors that are going to go good together, obviously. I've tried black before. Black is a little harsh for my liking. So I would pair it carefully and maybe only do 1 or 2 other actual colors with it. When I fill up these cups about halfway full, that I can fill up 6 of those with half a bottle of the Floetrol that I showed you earlier, and that'll do 4 to 6 canvases depending on what sizes you're using. If you know that you're going to use one color more than the others, you can go ahead and make that one a little more full. I do that with my white paint. Go ahead and unwrap your canvases before you start because your hands might get dirty, and that way it's just easier to move through them. A glove if you want to protect your manicure because sometimes the paint does get like really into the grooves of your nails. And you guys might have seen the technique people are using on the internet. Basically, one method is to pour the paint into a separate empty cup in a manner that you like, and then you flip the cup over onto the canvas and you open it up, pull the cup off, and then it pours everywhere. Another method that's been going around is using the sink strainer. Here's the thing. They don't sell sink strainers like that, like literally anywhere. I had to order a pack of 4 off of Amazon that has the slits in it because that's how you want the paint to come out, because essentially the paint comes out right here at the corner. You put a layer in and it'll go through those little tiny dots there, and then it's just going to sit on top of it and sit on top of it, and you've got to keep pouring more paint in to force it out. So I do like that. I like how that looks, but it's pretty annoying because you have to use a lot of paint, and it's not as easy to, like, you dump some in and you might not see that color until you've dumped a few other colors in. And yet at the end, when you lift the strainer off, you're going to see all those colors that you completely forgot you used at the beginning. So I'm going to do a mixture of those two methods today. But if you're interested in this type, you're going to have to order it off of Amazon. It is Amazon Prime, and they're relatively cheap. But I checked Dollar Tree, I checked Walmart, I checked Target, and I thought that was plenty of research. So I'm going to start with a small canvas. And I like using the square canvases for the sink strainer because you put the sink strainer in the middle and everything flows evenly. When you do a rectangular canvas for this, you either have to kind of waste a lot of paint off the skinnier sides, or you have to move it around to get the paint to spread, which is really cool if that's what you're going for. If you're looking for the like concentric circles, then tilting it a lot is going to mess it up. So I'm going to attempt to angle this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I just set it kind of in the cross here. Set that in the middle. And then I will start with pink because I made the most pink. And it comes out pretty fast because that's the whole point of it. And then dump some other blue on top, some yellow. And so like right now, you can see the blue just starting to come out. This is a little canvas. Now I can see that. So it's going to be full pretty quickly. And so it's coming out really even and pretty fast, and it's looking like a flower. So I'm gonna set it here and let it continue to pour, and then kind of estimate how much I need to keep going. So at this point, you can't even see the pink that I initially poured. So I'm gonna add more pink. And the pink is kind of forcing some other ones out. And now you can't see the blue, and now you can't see the yellow. So sometimes these don't really do what you want them to do. I think that ideally, if you have kind of like a potter's wheel and you could spin it, it'll move more uniformly, but I don't. So I'm tilting it just a tad and always trying to come back to the middle. So now when I lift it up, the paint is moving in to kind of fill the center. You guys can probably see that. So there's just a tiny bit on the edges that hasn't been covered, and you can just draw that out with your fingers. That's not a big deal. It's going to look fine. Okay, now you want to run your hands under the edge so you don't want to drip paint everywhere. And then I'm just going to pop this over here to start drying. Okay, so now kind of got to rinse out the sink a little bit, get rid of all that stuff.
And yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking to see